Morning vibes. I love my nature walks, you know. Hear the birds and shit. It's dope as fuck, actually. You know. Today I wanted to talk about. Some guy left a comment. I don't know his name. But he said something. He asked a very important question, actually. So yeah, he's got all his belts, and I think he is at that point where he's thinking, okay, why would consciousness put a blindfold on itself in order to experience these kind of false realities, right? And he says that he's experienced the kind of like the void, and it's terrifying and stuff like that. I've experienced that blackness too. I didn't find it terrifying. Terrifying didn't even exist where I was. Those kind of words just kind of like were all left with the suit, you know. All I remember was the lack of orientation. That's the one thing I remembered. I remembered that I was kind of everywhere, but not like I was localized, but I wasn't, if that makes sense. It doesn't make sense, actually. You know, it felt like I was in a dark room. That's what it felt like, a very dark room. And I couldn't find my exact location in the room, you know. But if I wanted to be, like, say, whatever there means in the black room, because it's just a dark room, I'll just be there. And if I wanted to be across, I'll be there. Like, it didn't even, yeah. That was my experience. But, saying that, the point is this. So it comes to a point where it's like, okay, so now the question is, why would consciousness submit itself to these sorts of things? I always say that we always have to look at nature, and we also need to look at the micro in order for us to understand better the macro. Otherwise, we don't really have a chance to understand anything at all, right? Because it's like we have something which helps us to understand the reality. We need to use that and expand and work from there. We can't magic new kind of things to try and understand what the experience is. Do you know what I mean? Like I say, like if you're stranded at sea, yeah, we're not suddenly gonna now start looking at how the waves are moving in order for it to give us an idea of what to do next. Like, okay, we have the ship, we have the vessel, the body, yeah, we're in it. This is the collective bubble, yeah, we're all in it. Okay, cool. What do we do? Do we know, like, what information do we have on board? What information do we have in house? Yeah, what options do we have? What can we do? What can we do? How can we maneuver? How can we do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? H, whatever. You can do all of it. So it all hinges on utilizing what we have. So what do we have? We have the mind, the body, and consciousness. This matrix thing. And then we know that from our micro standpoint, right? We like to play, we like to be entertained. In fact, one of the things that consciousness enjoys the most is to experience other life experiencing itself. Yeah? And this is why we like flowers for their beauty, because that's consciousness expressing itself as a flower. So we look at it. We like sunsets, consciousness expressing itself as a we like moonrise, the moon, different phases, all the rest of it. There are whole communities of people that just photograph these things, okay? They don't photograph these things in order to make cereal out of it, right? They photograph it because they truly enjoy the experience. Yeah. Stargazers, the same. People that like to watch animals, the same. People that like to even watch like even sports is the same, because it's the same thing, it's the same premise. Consciousness enjoys experiencing other consciousness experiencing itself. Yeah. So that's one thing we like to do. So we've established that we like to play, we like stimulation, we like enjoying, we like to see other consciousness, or consciousness, there is no other, consciousness just experiencing itself, right, in different kind of shapes, sizes, guises, whatever. We go and look at big trees, right? We go to Yellowstone and all these other places and go and look at these fat trees, you know. Yeah, just like that. We like to just go and sleep in nature, you know. So it's like we're going to experience how nature experiences itself, bro. It's endless. It's something we thoroughly enjoy, right? So coming back to the point, why are we living these false realities and under programming and all the rest of it? I still maintain that the very fact, right, that there's programming, it means that we're in a simulated world. We're not in our real world, right? And this is the part where I always say, if you listen to my videos, you know, I can't tell you why. I don't know what is actually creating the mechanism of separation in order to experience itself. I don't know why. You know, perhaps that is the whole point of what consciousness is doing. I don't know. You know, I don't know, because I find it hard to think that there'll be these archons or other gods that will come and subjugate mankind and stuff like that. That those gods are us, bro. I keep telling you, bro. I'm a god, you're a god, they're gods, we're all gods, right? So when they say that this god or these archons have come, it's us that's doing it to ourselves, bro. So like, when you think about it, right? When you think about it, bro, the hardest, like, all right, let me, oh, squirrel. Like, everything that we call devilish, I've said this before, everything we call devilish or good has all been done by man. It's not been done by no devil or no god from anywhere, right? It was men and women that misled us, yeah? It was men and women that gave us these false programs. It was men and women. It was no external nothing. It was people like you, yeah? Gods that gave, you know, the gods came down and they, it's the same. The whole thing that's happening is this. Let me tell you. So we're kids, yeah? We're like kids. All these, you know, powerful, super amazing kids. Hold on 1 second, guys. So we as gods got together, fractalized versions of the one, got together, we decided to play a little game of hide and seek. For some reason, in order for the game to be fun, we all had to go to the river of forgetfulness, right, which we create ourselves, somewhere, someplace, and we all drank from it to make the game fun. Because we have it in us to be unfair and inherently animalistic, it's in us. Because we're consciousness, it's part of our makeup, yeah? It's part of our makeup, yeah? Even the biologists will tell you that we have a reptilian brain and stuff like that. What does that mean? Yeah, we know it's bullcrap, but you get it, yeah? So it's part of, as long as we're playing this body, mind, consciousness, you know, matrix thing in this thing, that aspect exists, because you need to be part animal to actually live here. You know, you have to have that kind of like hardy focus on self-preserving thing about you, because that's what this place is, right? Guys, some of you got cats and pets and stuff like that, and they've bared their teeth at you, they've growled at you, they've given you that look that, no, don't do that, or I'll throw away this relationship and I'll fucking bite you. Has that not happened? Okay. So there's an aspect of us that's actually purely animalistic. So if you go back to the Garden of Eden, which is, again, I always use the Bible because that story has existed this long for a very specific reason, yeah? So you've got Adam, Eve, the snake, and the tree. 4 aspects of consciousness in one place. Depending on which energy the critical mass got behind, our life experience would have been different. If the critical mass, i.e. Eve, because Eve is the one that actually is the mother of all the nations, all the consciousness, she's the first cause of all causes of humanity. Yeah, it's metaphoric, you get it. So if the critical mass got behind Adam, because Adam was actually in communion with God, pure consciousness. He was living as consciousness as a grown man, like pure consciousness as a grown man. Imagine a baby, right? You see how they're pure consciousness, but in a man, imagine that. Crazy. If the critical mass had got behind that, we would be having a totally different life experience. It didn't. The critical mass got behind the animal aspect of us. Maybe this was supposed to happen. Maybe that's the whole point of the game. Maybe that's what makes the game entertaining. Because the mere fact that I exist with this level of awareness tells me that we were supposed to find out about ourselves partway through the game. So we're playing hide and seek with our friends. We're drinking from the river of forgetfulness, right? And I see from across that some kids are pretending to drink. They're not drinking. They're cheating, yeah? They're cheating the game. They're rigging the game. Low states of consciousness, yeah? We've discussed this. So they've done that. And I've seen that. And I've only drank half a cup. So yeah, it's gone into me, but at some point I've woken up. And I've seen what the game has now become. It's not fair. It's upside down. It's inverted. Like, all the conscious beings have just become weird and they've just feeding on themselves and shit like that. Really, it's not a lot of us. It's not, when I say I'm just using a story, because in essence, it's not all of conscious. It's just one consciousness, right? That one thing that's fractalized itself has now become like that. So I then say, hey, hang on a minute, guys, you do realize your true nature, right? And this is all bullcrap. You're not supposed to do this. Like, it's not normal. Right? That's it. Why God chose to play the game in the first place, nobody can answer. Do you hear me? Like, why God chose to actually manifest here and play this game, yeah, of hide and seek, or, you know, this whole Adam and Eve, Adam and Eve and the serpent, yeah, and the tree of good and evil, or whatever it is. It's literally a dice roll, bro. It's a dice roll. It's a dice roll, because again, Eve is not evil. She got lured, yeah, because she didn't have the information. You see, she didn't have the information. It's like a dice roll. And it just went that way and we followed that way. But that doesn't mean that has to be the way to the end of time. It's stupid. There's a different way. And that's why I keep saying that ascension is the aim of the game. Because once you ascend, bro, it's done. Once you ascend, like, it's like we're playing the game now. When we realize that it's a stupid game, or the guys are not playing fair, so we're going to play the game differently. Or we're going to just go over there and play by ourselves because it's a stupid game over there. Consciousness is free to do that, bro. And the very fact that we have to be programmed into the reality, all of us, we have to be programmed through the trauma, through the stories and the media, by our own selves in different states of consciousness, right? Oh gosh, I was trying to do something really impossible. By our own selves, that in itself should tell us that, hey, listen, you live in a simulated world. This is not baseline reality. When I say baseline reality, I don't even mean it in terms of baseline reality as home or where, we actually are. I mean in terms of baseline reality, in terms of our experience, like what the game is supposed to be like. So it's like you're playing Super Mario Brothers, right? And your brother, an aspect of you, has made, put in a cheat code in the game, and it's inverted the screen. So now the screen is upside down. So you have to be programmed to understand the upside down world. Like literally step by step. And by doing that, you create a distortion in your bubble. So when you cause life to come in there, they're naturally born into an upside down world. They start their orientation from an upside down position, even though they're upright. So you have to reteach them everything. That's why it's so difficult with kids sometimes. It's not them. It's actually the world we've created. I.e., they were part of it as well because their consciousness. We did it to ourselves, bro. So ascension being the aim of the game, leaving low states of consciousness and stop feeding on ourselves. I can't think of one disadvantage, bro. And if anyone has one disadvantage, it's an open forum. You know my shit, bro. Just come and say your shit, bruv. Just come and say your shit. If you really think that there is an inherent disadvantage or some implied disadvantage or some disadvantage I'm not seeing due to my blind spot or something, please tell me and let's discuss it. Ascension is the whole point, bro. Ascension is the whole point. So like, thing, because consciousness speaks to consciousness like all the time, yeah? And I've said this in another video. I don't know if I've posted it yet, so whichever comes first doesn't really matter, but I'm going to say it anyway. You got to realize that the Bible, all these books, Gulliver's Travels, all these stories, The Matrix, all these books and stories and things and allegorical things are about ourselves as consciousness, right? They were written by consciousness for us to understand who we are. All the hieroglyphs, all the Egyptian papers, blah, 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 blah. Aspects of consciousness that were alive in that moment, which is still now really somewhere. They were saying, hey guys, listen, like we live in a state of low consciousness, so we can't tell you everything for what it is, but like this is how it kind of works. You actually are the power. You actually have the connection to God. You actually are bigger than them. You actually are more powerful than them. Matter of fact, you fucking created them and they're creating you simultaneously, and it feels real, but it's actually not real because this is actually not where you're from. This is not home. You are actually a God, blah, 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 blah. Like God literally lives inside of you, bro. I'm literally telling you, like God literally lives inside of you. And you have a gland or something in your mind where God actually comes. God, the whole infinite power of the whole everything comes within your head. There is a specific point it comes, and you can talk, you can vibe with it, you can let it take over and run your body or give, like what, like is there just, that's what animals do, bro. How do you think birds fly, bro? Birds are not there arguing with like themselves and other birds and God about their nature. Oh, I'm too heavy, how the fuck am I gonna fly from there to there? You think they just fly, bro? They're not under illusion. Whereas we have allowed ourselves to fall under illusion, which we ourselves did to ourselves. So it's the best illusion you're possibly going to get. Like imagine if I told myself to set a challenge for me to break. Bro, Do you know how hard that challenge is going to be? Because yourself made it. You understand? You know? Whoa, I literally visualized my phone falling down and it did. Literally. Crazy. You shape the reality, you don't even realize. That's the whole point of it, bro. I'm not here for no other reason but to tell you that. You know, you wrote all those books, you wrote all those movies, all those multiple scenes in the Matrix are so carefully curated and fucking put together and make you think and all this stuff. And like, all these fucking, you know, when consciousness expresses itself as Jim Carrey on the screen of consciousness, he comes and tells you all these things like da-da-da-da-da. Or when consciousness spawns into somebody that's talking about consciousness, or somebody that makes you think, somebody that, you know, knows what they're saying, like a teacher or something. You're like, yeah, I get it. Like, consciousness is speaking to itself to say, hey, don't go down that road, it's fucked. That's all it is, bro. Like, who do you think, you see, that's why I keep saying, most people talk about this consciousness thing, but they don't actually fucking get it, bro. People actually think that, oh yeah, all is one. But then when I'm telling you that you wrote the Bible to yourself, or you wrote Gulliver's Travels to yourself, or you wrote The Matrix to yourself in order to try and help you remember, they look at me like I'm crazy. Then which one is it, bro? Because you have cognitive dissonance, because you think one thing but you're doing another thing. People say all is one and all this other shit, but yet they believe in time. How can all be one but yet time exists? That's stupid, bro. You're not using your brain. Because if all is one and it's happening simultaneously, there is no past or there is no future. Because it possibly can't be, because it's the same consciousness, right? Think about it. You're saying that I'm saying that consciousness is existing right now, expressing itself in all different guises, including you, including me, but it's actually just one thing fractalized, yeah? You're saying you believe in the past, you believe in the future because you're attached to a story. You don't actually know what you're talking about. Because if there is a past or a future, that will indicate that there'll have to be another consciousness in the past or another consciousness in the future. It's not another, it's the same thing. I can't travel to the future and go and meet myself because I already am there. I can't travel to the future to go and meet myself, bro. So when you think about past memory, it wasn't a different type of consciousness. It was the same consciousness that you are now. It's the same thing that was in you. That's you. And when you try and think into the future, which is pointless, don't do it. It's dumb. You're literally transporting your consciousness into an illusion. When you think about the future, you're transporting your consciousness into an illusion. Hold on. There's nothing new under the sun, bro. You think all these MMA guys, they just decided to want to fight because of some trauma in their life, or because you know, they're getting bullied or whatever? Do you know how many wars those guys have fought in real life? Do you know how many times they've respawned that same consciousness? As a Viking, as a fucking this, as a that, as a fucking special forces, as a this, as a fucking... You have no idea. And people, engineers just wake up and just go and become engineers in this one timeline, and scientists just wake up to go and be scientists, or researchers wake up to go and be researchers. Thinkers and philosophers wake up to just go and be it. You know, Teachers just wake up to go and teach. Yeah, nurses and people that want to give care just wake up and go and do it, right? You're insane. Do you know why your dog doesn't wake up and go and become anything? Do you know why? Do you know why? Because it's in the lower state of consciousness. It's consciousness, but in a different loop altogether, different config. So that expression is not part of its reality. You can program it to do things and backflips and shit, because consciousness can do anything. You can teach those dogs to fly if you knew how to, bro. Consciousness is something that you can't even fathom, bro. So don't worry about the why, because that's kind of like weird, bro. Because you don't know why you are here, bro. Nobody does. Nobody knows why. But we can, again, going back to the original point, we can look at the micro and kind of infer at the macro level, because we're one and the same. Do you understand? You're believing illusions, bro. Like you can't believe in consciousness and be thinking in separation. Time is separation. Time is separation, because time separates the present moment into slices. Yeah. So that happened, then that happened, then that happened. I wish you could see, I wish you could actually see the way animals see the world, because animals don't think in time, right? And everything is just one flow. It's actually really, really beautiful, bro. It's really beautiful. You know, you are just a zombie that can... You think your animals look at you like you're stupid. They depend on you, so they have to do the dependent thing, and they're animals, they're subservient to us, so they have to be subservient. But in terms of pure intelligence, conscious intelligence, they look at you like you're dumb. You're like a you're like a monkey, like a gorilla or one of these fucking animals that's in a fucking cage, right, in a zoo that they built themselves, and you've gone and brought an animal into your cage and you think you're living life. You're literally fucking nuts, bro. You're both not even experiencing life how life should be experienced, but yet you think you're alive. Dummies. And I'm not saying don't have a pet. This is part of this comes from another video as well, so if you hear it, yeah. And I'm not being like listen, get off your, wake up. We're consciousness. We're not fucking suits and masks, yeah? People getting offended by everything. Get the fuck off. You're grown up. You've been sleeping. You've been living an illusion. I have to tell you to wake the fuck up, because you're heading towards a cliff, and after that cliff, you're just going to get shredded and put back in, over and over again. You're going to tell me, but obviously you're going to die as well, bro. I don't die. I don't die. If death was real, I'd have died about 8 times already in my life. If death was real. When the time comes, I'll drop this body and I'll just leave this place, bro. That's it. Die where? Stupid. They're so attached to fucking stories. I remember one of my neighbors, she was cool. I remember like shortly after I lost my dad, she came to pick up some post or some shit, and she was like, "How you been?" I was like, "Yeah, I've been alright." And I said, "Yeah, I lost my dad a few days ago, so I need to like make arrangements and this and this and this and that." She was like, "Oh, my condolences, blah blah." I was like, "It's cool, it's fine, it's life, it happens." And then people die, and people drop your bodies, should I say? And she was like, what did she say? She was like, "Yeah, like this woman's young, okay? I think she was probably like in her 40s or something, but she goes to the gym all the time. She looks good, like." And she was telling me how like she had been looking at plots and stuff like that, and she was thinking about buying a plot for her and her partner or something. And I said, "Wow, you're supposed to be playing the game called life and you're playing the game called death. Like, why would you that?" Because guys, listen, wherever attention goes, energy flows. We know this. We've had this sermon before. The mere fact that you're thinking about acquiring a plot, regardless of his attendant reasons, "Oh, I'm trying to help my kids out," or, you know, they've run out of space, or loads of people are dying because of COVID, or whatever. I don't know what people, I don't watch the, I don't know. Whatever the reason may be, you are participating in that reality. But that's not your reality. You've just chosen to go and inhabit that reality, is what I'm saying. When you drop your body, this thing doesn't exist anymore. What are you buying a plot for? So when you think about death and what's going to happen after death, right, you're literally pouring your energy into a black hole of non-existence, because it doesn't exist. Because when you drop your suit, you will literally just leave, and this thing just gets demanifested. The whole sine wave of expressions, which we call the screen of space, will literally collapse around you, and you'll be back in the blackness. They show you all the time on TV. You guys just don't get the picture. They show you the galaxies and shit like that, and you're like, yeah, bro, that's your true nature. You're just here. You just transport yourself into the world to experience it, but you're experiencing it in a simulated way, not authentic way. Yo, motherfuckers gotta wake up, bro. You know, every time I make a video and people say things like, "Yeah, man, that was really thought-provoking," and stuff like that, I wonder if they actually stop to think what they've just said. You know, because most of these liars will tell you be without thoughts and stuff like that. How can you be without thoughts? You need to think. If you don't think, you're dead, okay? You're liars. You have to think, but you can't think about the future. You can't think about the past. You can't think about that stupid stuff. You can't think about illusions. That's it. So, what is thinking actually? Thinking is when you stop internally and you go, "Hey, what am I doing here?" Yeah? And you have a conversation with I'm waiting. You have a conversation with okay, so you have this conversation with whatever you chose. I don't give a shit. We know the deal. You had this conversation, and now you've decided to take the route, or why do I keep saying route? I'm not American. The route, yeah, because there's these American things I sometimes listen to. Just yeah. Anyway, you take the route, whatever works for you. It's fine. That is aligned with a higher state of consciousness where you're not disadvantaged one to gain an advantage, i.e. being an Ouroboros, yeah? You're not feasting on consciousness's self. You're on consciousness, you're literally not doing that. You're doing the opposite. You're spreading love, sharing love, whatever. And you go that way. So you've allowed something to take over and drive the situation, right? Some people will say reason, some people will say logic, yeah? But there was something that you had a conversation with which balanced and showed you the bigger picture. That's consciousness, bro. That's God. You just spoke to, you just don't know. So when something makes you think, that thing is making you let go of control of your animal state in order to commune with tu comprends? That's it, bro. Release the illusion, bro. You want this place to be so fucking real, but it's not. Let go of it. I know your car's nice and your house and your kids and your girlfriend and your... It's not real. Again, these people that talk about this stuff, a lot of them don't get it. Because they'll talk about it, but they'll still be attached to the story of their things. Bro, if you're truly conscious, you should be ready to... if you're truly conscious, if you die at any given moment, it won't make a difference. That's just the long and short of it. If I die today, at least I wanted to speak to consciousness, to make consciousness not chew still and do this animalistic stuff. It's there, it's stored, it's there. Even if when the thing collapses, in terms of the echo, the resonance to consciousness, the job is done. That's cool, man. Made sure I've made an impact on those that I love and care about. I make sure I expend my energy in those directions positively always. I don't live in an animal state anymore. What's there to sweat, bro? You only fear death if you live in illusion. You only fear death if you live in illusion. It's illusion. Illusion. That's it, bro. Authenticity. Be mature enough to face facts and look at the reality for what it is. Even if you don't believe what I'm saying and I'm talking shit, you will die. This place is not permanent. So why the fuck are you attached to it? It's dumb. It's like you go to an arcade to go play a game or some shit. And you're so attached to the fucking motorcycle game, you're so attached to it, like, oh my god, this is my bike and I'm gonna put it in my garage, and you start like wiping it down and stuff like that. If when people come near you go, no, that's my bike, right? And then you do that for like a few hours and shit like that, and then your dad comes and dad's like, hey, listen, it's time to go. No. My bike, Dad. My fucking bike. I fucking hate it. The bike was never yours to begin with, bro, because it's not real. It's not there, bro. It was just an experience you came to have. What the fuck you? Hey, listen. Let's stop fucking around, okay? You just came to experience the bike. Yeah, the bike's not yours. That's it. Now shut the fuck up. Get on with it. And see what reality is. Yeah, and the guy that sent the question, his name was I think I asked him his name and he gave me some long essay about it. He said his name, we should call him Once. But yeah, it was a great question. Great question. I love that. It's how we learn. You know, we probe and then we dissect and we investigate, we go deeper and we learn. And through your question, we've been able to sort of like unlock some really deep things, you know. So maximum gratitude to you. And this is what I'm saying. This is the whole purpose of this place. You know, I want to learn from myself. I want to learn from consciousness. Because only consciousness can teach consciousness. You understand? Like I said, all those books and stuff, they were written for you. You know, you read them and you see all the hidden codes and shit like that. It was consciousness speaking to you in the same present moment, but it's a frequency thing. You have to ascend to a certain point in order for that stuff to resonate and then it be drawn into your reality. You don't just find it, you know. You don't just find it. There's no just finding. It's your world, you made it. How do you find stuff in it? Stupid, bro. Just magically appears. You guys are just not thinking fast enough or high enough. You're literally creating the reality as you go along, but this place is dense and slow, so it doesn't actually happen instantly. So in your mind, when you start to think, what the fuck's wrong with this world? This place is fucked up, like, and the confirmation will come through a video, an experience or something to show you, oh shit. And then you step into that portal, because now you're gaining more clarity and more understanding. So now you're at that frequency. You've shifted timelines altogether. Now you're in that next bubble. As you keep thinking, yeah, so that's really interesting. I need to all this information will come as you ascend. You know, your phone is literally a reflection of your mind state, bro. Your playlist, all of that is a reflection of your mind state. You know, what you listen to, what you consume, all of that, because you're creating that in real time. I love being in the woods, man. I love it. Anyway, enough earthing for one day. I'm going back into the mind. I'll see you guys around.